Namaste. Welcome to the Heartbeat episode. This episode is dedicated for the queries related to diet. So time and again question arises which diet is good, what we should take as a supplement that will be heart attack proof. Some patient ask I should not get the heart attack, what diet I should take, what I should do. So it is a very difficult question sometime to answer, and before going in detail, let me tell you one important fact, and it is a proverb also, that 1/4 of the food what you take is enough to make you healthy, and 3/4 of the food you take that your doctor should be live. The crux is that we are overeating. So overeating for doctor only, because if you are taking too much food, certainly you are going to get the disease, and if you are getting disease, it is the doctor who survive and the healthcare system which survives. So if you really want to live longer, I will recommend, that is one book that you should read or your family should read, that is Ikigai. Ikigai has given all the answers related to the diet, exercise, as well as the social harmony which is needed for longevity, not the diet. So diet we should take only to survive, and that survival is enough by taking the ample food. So coming first, vegetarian versus non-vegetarian. This question time and again comes, is how much non-vegetarian we can take, or non-vegetarian is bad or not. My answer is whatever the studies has been done, all studies are observational studies. So never ever rely on those. What I mean to say, observation study means we are observing in the society how the people are surviving and making our own conclusions, which medical science doesn't accept. We call as a randomized controlled trials to accept anything to be taken in our practice. So randomized means we are taking a persons who are taking this type of diet and there's that type of diet, and then we are blinding the persons who are judging or who are collecting the data, and finally making the conclusion that the person who has taken this type of diet is having this type of disease, and the person who is not taking this type of diet, they are developing this type of problem. So most of the diet related studies are observational studies, and that's why starting from the fish oil replacement to taking the Mediterranean diet, these all are observational studies. Never rely on it. Rely on your culture, rely on your food habits, what we have been given by our forefather or our families. So taking a person who is taking vegetarian food, if he switch over to more a non-vegetarian, certainly he invites a problem for him and for his family. And the reason being, the studies are nowadays going from the food to what you call microbiota. So microbiota is, we call as something we get from our family, or we can say from mother to baby in the first few days of their life. So when you are taking, one is genetics and second the bacteria from mother to baby, which is present in your intestine and which are responsible for digesting your food, whatever you are taking. And not only, they are big factory, they provide all the nutrients, all the vitamins, as well as all the barriers to the bacteria and viruses. So the time you disrupt this microbiota by changing your food habits, or the quantity of food habits, or the quality of food habits, you invite the problem for yourself. And that's why even though you are taking good food, if you have destroyed or you have changed the microbiota by your food habits, because some microbiota will thrive on the vegetarian, some are non-vegetarian, or some like that. Every microbiota is very unique for that person, and that's why you will see the what mother was tolerating, the same thing the baby will be also tolerating, provided it has not been changed during the first few years of the life. So that habits will be going, and most of the time when you are taking the same food habits, the chances of the diseases will be less. Vegetarian versus non-vegetarian question comes, if you see from our teeth point of view, we are having only 4 canine teeth. It means God has gifted us 4 teeth to survive on the carnivorous type of diet than the herbivorous. So we are more a herbivorous. If you are taking the food habits, if you are taking vegetarian, the chances of heart diseases or even the depression, cancer, all has been less than when you are taking more non-vegetarian diets. and there is one molecule that releases TMAO, which is responsible for the all sort of inflammation to depression and cancer. It has already been available in the medical domain. You can go and see it. So the things are very clear that vegetarian is always better than non-vegetarian, and the persons who are taking vegetarian diet are having less risk of developing the heart disease. But there are some deficiencies happens. For that we have to give the replacement, because vitamin B12 are a bit deficient in our food, vegetarian food, and that's why the vegetarian are having more risk of developing the vitamin B12 deficiencies than the persons who are taking the non-vegetarian diet. So vegetarian versus non-vegetarian, the things is better you should stick to the vegetarian. If you are taking non-vegetarian, be in a restrictive mode. You should not be take too much non-vegetarian, because you are certainly inviting the problem. Even our intestine is more like a herbivorous than the carnivorous, and even our teeth, if you are seeing it, indirectly speaks that we are made to be herbivorous than the carnivorous. And the microbiota studies all are saying vegetarian diets are better than non-vegetarian. And that's why in the Western, they are now switching more to the vegetarian than non-vegetarian. Probably in our country, over time, somebody will understand and they will start taking the same thing in our country. Coming to the second part, how much food we should take, how much carbohydrate, how much protein, how much fat. And there is a nutrition or dietitians, they give the permutation combination that if you are a diabetic this much and if you are non-diabetic this much. But frankly speaking, Indian diet, if you are taking what we are taking 3 times, or sometimes people take 4 times with snacks, that is more than enough. And if you are taking Indian diet, because all Indian diets in the past what we are taking, they are very rich in the balance. Even idli, if you are going to see, idli is having the protein to carbohydrate ratio, one of the fixed in our medical norms. So taking Indian diets is always the best way, and if you are taking everything in a balanced way. If you are taking too much carbohydrate, like people take too much rice or too much chapatis, then the problem comes. And if you are taking out of way calories like junk food or taking too much sweets, then you are bringing the problem for your body, that they are taking more carbohydrate converting to fat, and this fat is going to give inflammatory, which is making the inflammatory burner on, and after that all the diseases start taking place, like atherosclerosis, which is a smoldering inflammation in the vascular channels. So wherever the inflammation is there, again the blocks will start. So if you are cutting down your carbohydrate as much as possible, it is always better. And if you are taking protein in high, it doesn't make much difference, but taking too much of carbohydrate and fat is always not a good thing. Finally, coming regarding how much fasting we should do, means fasting, or we can say intermittent fasting, is becoming a new buzzword. People time and again say that I am doing intermittent fasting for reducing the fat, and fasting is good. And this is an open secret. If you really want to live longer, there are 2 or 3 things that everybody should do. Fasting is one of the important thing, and if you see the religious point of view, all the religion, starting from Hindu, Muslim, and even in the Christianity, there is particular days has been kept that you should keep the food out of your plate. Means you should fast, and this fasting will make you rejuvenated over time, because all the dead cells or the dying cells or the cells which are not functioning, they will be, we call as apoptosis happens, means those cells will die out and the new cells will be taking over. It is something like spring is coming after they were fasting. So that is a good thing, and fasting is always, but how much? So Hindu religion, we say that every 11th day, we call 11th day of the month, Ekadasi is the one day. Like same, every different faith is having their own timings. But if you are doing intermittent fasting, or you can say Ekadasi, or you can say 14 to 18 hours of fasting without calories on good hydration is the norm. So if you are crossing the time of 14 to 18 hours, you are burning the bad fat which has accumulated in your body. You are taking out the dead cells or non-functioning cells which can convert into the cancerous cells by doing the intermittent fasting. So fasting is good thing, and certainly it makes the difference in your life. Not only it gives you self-control also, willpower also, and the most important, understand the pain of a person who is not getting the food, how his mind works, because there the role of mind comes. I will not go in the detail that aspect, but yes, it really gives a boost to understanding the life. Without food is the important way to understand those things and rejuvenate yourself. Coming to the third aspect which will make a longer life is the exercise. So diet, exercise and fasting are the important component, and at the same time your learning behavior. So if you are giving food for your brain, means if you are giving, challenging your mind on and off with the new things or new learning, certainly you will be younger, your immune system will be stronger and your disease fighting capacity will be better. And these are the ways which has already been written in the Ikigai. If you go and see from that aspect, you will understand if you really want to live longer, you have to take some habits, some type of living style. Then supplements, which a lot of advertisement nutraceuticals will be coming against, taking fish oil, you will be having more longevity, all those things. I'm not saying myth, but they are not having a sound foundation. There are some studies, but those are all are observational studies. Some randomized studies are there, but it has been with a different motto. So that part is not been well proven, and it will certainly, the healthy lifestyle is a better way of going than taking the supplement and thinking that probably I will be living longer and healthier with those supplements. So with this, we will be concluding this episode. See you next time with a new topic, and if you are having any comments, kindly post in the comment box. We will certainly try to reach you. Thank you so much. Namaste.